मन भजने हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
राधे गोविंदा मन भजने हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
जय नंद लाला जय गोपाला,
जय नंद लाला जय गोपाला।
जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, जब यमराज पलंग पर कोई नल बाल के गठरिया। जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया, कोई नाल गए धनबान के घटरिया, धनबान के घटरिया, धनबान के घटरिया, धनबान के घटरिया, धनबान के घटरिया रे, कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया। जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, उलट गए दोनों नैन पतरिया, उलट गए दोनों नैन पतरिया रे, कोई डाल दे भगवान की घटरिया। मारे ही सूता प्राण निकाले, मारे ही सूता प्राण निकाले, प्राण लोकाई खोतरिया खोतरिया, प्राण लोकाई खोतरिया खोतरिया रे, कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया, कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया, कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया। चार प्रहर मेरी काट उठावे, चार प्रहर मेरी काट उठावे, फूक दिया जैसे बन के लकड़िया, फूक दिया जैसे बन के लकड़िया रे, कोई नाल गए धनबान की घटरिया, कोई नाल गए धनबान की घटरिया, कोई नाल कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, कहत कबीर, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, छूट गए सब महल उतरिया, छूट जाए सब महल उतरिया, कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया, कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया, हर कोई नाले गए धनबान के।
का भजन कर ले मेरे नाथिया, भजना बिना मेरे शुभ दिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे नाथिया, भजना बिना
कट ले मेरी मातिया भजन बिन
Praise Guru Vrindavan, Harrilal ki Jai. Devotees, friends, relatives, near and dear ones, well wishers. As you are aware, we are here to say one common purpose, to pay our final tribute to the soul that was embodied in the circle of for us, and to dispose of the remains of the body. As I extend my condolence and sympathy to the bereaved family on behalf of my family who would have loved to be here, who have known him for many, many years, and to many of those, again, who would have loved to be here, but due to what you call it, fortunate circumstances, couldn't be here. And to all of you who have taken the time off, demonstrating your love, had it not been for the love in your heart, for the family as well as the party, you would not have found time to be here today. So to all again, I offer again my congratulations and gratitude for taking this step to come to join with the bereaved family, to bring comfort to their hearts and to support them along during the time of their loss and otherwise. As such, I would of course ask all to the healthy, strong ones, those who do not have daily wraps, sitting on the lap, to stand with me for the moment. Always stand, and recognizing that there is one God, that I am not a Hindu, I am not a Christian, I am not a Muslim. I am a human being, a child of God. That this is how each one of us must think. I am not a Hindu, I am not a Muslim, I am not a Christian, I am not a religionist. I am a human being. I am a child of God. That God is within me. God is a part of me. And I am a part of God. And thus, put the two parts together, I become God. The two parts together becomes one. So I am God. So today, as little gods on earth, we have come to seek the blessings of the universal God. So you get that into your mind. That is one God, is one Father, who is all of us fathers. That we are one family. We are brothers and sisters. So therefore there will be no discrimination among the Lord's creation, realizing and recognizing that all that is upon earth, God placed it here out of love. And just as God loves the tree, the flowers, the animals, He loves us. And this is what God wants us to understand. We ought to love one another, live loving and love living. So we pray and ask the dear Lord, at this moment, recognizing that a near and dear one with whom we have shared many, many pleasurable times during his stay here, that we permitted him to be here, to be a part of us, and to be one among us. We implore with deepest humility and love that you grace your choicest blessings by allowing your presence to be here, in order that you may protect against all from further misfortunes of his past, as he joins in wanting your divine feet to celebrate the life of the late Mr. Harrilal Seenath. Oh, okay, Lord, I'm sorry about that. It's Harrilal Seenath. Yes. And as us, young man, Lord, we implore again that you be pleased in all ways with us, to abide in the hearts of each one of us, to comfort each one, particularly the bereaved one, and that which is recognized or termed as a loss. Knowing that the soul whom you have brought here over the past 88 years, and whom many of us had the opportunity of being with for most of the 88 years. And now that he is gone, as many of his companions have gone ahead, ancestors are ahead, and they will be waiting with you for him when he comes here. We implore them, the Lord, that you allow peace to be with him as he journeys along to meet with you, as we hand over to you that soul, and will take the remains of the body to dispose of it. May you grant then, O Lord, that you will be here to protect in all ways, protecting all and leading all into a state of peace and calm and reality, certainty and truth of a meeting and parting. Let us pray. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. पवित्र पवित्र हुआ सर्वहस्तांगतोऽपि वा यहाँ स्मरे पुण्डरीकाक्षः पुण्डरीकाक्षसभाः शुचिः Om Sumukhaste Gadantasya Kapilo Gajakarnaka Lambodarasya Vikato Vignanasya Vinayakam Dhumraketurgaladhyacho Balachandra Gajananam Dvadasahitani namani yapati srinuyadhapi Vidyaramba vivahita pravesha nirgami tatha Sangrami sankate chaiva vignatasya na jayati Sukulam varadarang devang Shashi varang chaturbhujam Prahasana vadanang jayit Sarva vighna pashantaye Sarva mangala mangalye Shive sarvarte sadhike Sharanatambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtihi Vardhanam Urvarkamiva Vandanam Mrityurmukshyamamrita Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Mrityurmukshyamamrita Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Mrityurmukshyamamrita Same Prem Se Guru Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. You may all take your seat. So devotees, as I said, we are here to pay tribute. And what is important to know? I say the said, that partings are sweet sorrows. Partings are sweet sorrows. In his time, Sri Krishna on earth was speaking to Arjuna, and he told to Arjuna his last question, and he would answer everything. So Arjuna wanted to know, at one time Sri Krishna was talking about things millions of years ago, and Arjuna asked him, Lord, how do you expect me to know all what you're talking about? And he told to him, Arjuna, the difference between you and I is, I became the divine within me. I am fully aware and conscious of the divine within me. While you have allowed yourself to leave the house of God from within where the universe is and go outside. And you make yourself a prisoner in Maya's prison cell, where there is lust and greed and anger and envy and hatred and discrimination, all these negativities. So you lose the consciousness and awareness of your birth, your journey of life, because you have gone away. You separated yourself from God. So you no longer can recall your past. You are unaware of your present. So most of the time you will live in your past because the negativity rise up time after time in your mind and creates guilt and anger, etc. So you do not even understand your present. And you will not be enjoying your present because you are living in the past that only brings unhappiness to you. And as such, he says, you will not even be aware of your future. So he says to him that Arjuna, ever since creation is the same set of us. When I created the highest beings, human beings, I came with you. And there has never been a time that I was here that you were not, or you were here that I was not. And so he says to him that Arjuna, what a happening. When you get an opportunity, when I bring you here, he said, when I brought you, so he brought us. So to bring us, we had to be somewhere. So we are totally unaware of our birth date. Because we were seeing on that day, that is the day God brought us. And we think, or we are told, your birth date is that day. But he said, ever since creation when I gave birth, that is your birth date. We do not know that date. He didn't tell it. And when I withdraw, I take back all into me. And when I decide to recreate again, it is said that from where you stopped the last time, you will be continuing this time. I knew of a fellow in my district, since I was a child, he was learning to play a saxophone. And before he died, his grandson came and started to play the saxophone at the age of 6, and he didn't know to play it as yet. He had a desire to learn to play saxophone, but his grandson was a saxophone player in the last life. Do you understand what he's saying to you? You continue from where you stopped. So you see sometimes a child born and the child is sick because the child was sick when he died. So it had certain unfulfilled acts of omissions or commissions. So it had to come back to continue from there until he cleanses out. Let go and cleanse out. So he says, so Arjuna, because you allow yourself to be separated from God, you engage in the negative way of life. For it's how you allow, you see, sounds travel into this body. through every pore, not only in the ears. And when sounds enter the body, it is left upon you, the individual now, how you deal with the sound. It is how you view it, how you deal with it. And the sound, the mind is like an empty vessel into which the sound deposits itself. And according to how you view it, how you think about it, and you store, it enters the subconscious mind. And when it reaches the subconscious mind, it is now become a seed that matures into a tree that bears fruit. And we have to eat the fruits of that tree, which we cultivated through the sound we kept in our minds. Good sound, he says, which you keep will lead to goodness, to good thinking, good hearing, good seeing, good speaking, good doing. Which leads to goodness. Goodness leads into happiness. Happiness leads into salvation, and salvation leads into moksha, final beatitude, liberation. Bad songs lead to the opposite. So he says, therefore, Arjuna, you have to be wise when you are thinking. That's why the wise say, think twice before you speak once. Whatever is happening to me, good or bad, no one is responsible for it. No one is responsible for my suffering. No one is responsible for my happiness. It is my thoughts, my words, my actions causes me to be happy or unhappy. And he says, oh, not until you realize it, Arjuna, and start to observe your journey now. Observe your journey. For he says, that which is called birth is a dual gateway. And there is no difference between birth and death. From birth, as you call it, birth, you leave one house, the higher upper house of God by foot, and come into the lower house of God, known as Dharmakshetra, the place of righteousness. And we are given an opportunity now from that which is called birth, when we enter this lower house of God, to traverse the entire plane, the lower temple of God. And we are cultivating, we are sowers of seeds as we are going along. We are sowing seeds from the thoughts that we gather and store and transport into our subconscious mind and the maturing into it. So you have to blame no one when you are experiencing unhappiness, and praise no one when you are enjoying happiness but yourself. Blame yourself when you're suffering in any way whatsoever, knowing that I am suffering because I have chosen to think bad thoughts, to see bad, to hear bad, to speak bad, and to do bad. Because I did it in previous times and I'm coming with it. And he said, God says, to Krishna said, I give the individual being an opportunity to come back here on earth. I bring you back here on earth to give you the opportunity to experience life of heaven on earth because of the good deeds that you perform, the good thoughts, the good words, the good actions, the goodness, and to also experience life of hell on earth for the bad things that you do, the bad way of thinking, acting, hearing, seeing, speaking, etc. Doing. So he says, therefore, between that which is called birth now, which is the departure, the exit gate, and into the entry now of the lower, the exiting from the higher to the entry to the lower temple of God. You are given an opportunity to traverse the planet, listening to sounds, storing sounds, looking at things, storing what you think it is, hearing and storing, speaking and storing, doing and storing, as you are going along. But he says, Arjuna, if you are being wise, you are using the wisdom, and you will sit in concentration, contemplation, in solitude, in meditation, then you will realize I am experiencing happiness because of the good things I do, the good deeds I did, the good things I listened to, the good things I looked at, the good things I say, etc. And when I am experiencing unhappiness, I will also conclude that the unhappiness is because of the bad thoughts, the bad songs, the bad words, the bad actions, the bad things I look and think and see, and the bad things I listen to and say, and the bad things I do. So then if I'm using the wisdom now, and I will conclude, I am suffering at times because of bad in different ways. I am happy because of good. What am I doing this time that God gave me another opportunity to be here, to find my past faults, omissions and commissions, negligence, hurt to people, etc. What am I doing now? Am I preparing myself to liberate myself from all this that I'm suffering now? Or am I preparing myself to come back into a worse state of suffering next time? So he says you need to use this opportunity, because birth is the exit entry gateway. You exit and you traverse, and if you traverse in, and you now realize I must go back, I have to get back to that gate, like you go to San Fernando, and you have to remember I have to come back to Gasparilla. But if you take the road that goes to Takam, will you reach Gasparilla? You have to understand your journey. God brought each one of us here as a human being, as a child of His, and He says, you stand in this road, take this, and go with it. And you will make the whole circle around the road, and you will come back and meet me at the gateway where you will be able to come. But if when you make all the circle, and you reach the gate and you think you're going, you just have to answer the question. The very first question God will ask you when you reach there, you have certain gateways. You know, like nowadays, they're building 3-4 gates before the house is provided to get trouble, but that time when the gates to come. Well, you have gates to go, you have 5 gates to meet, 5 steps to meet God for the main gate to open. And when you meet there, you have one of His emissaries to ask you, oh, where are you heading? She says, well, I want to go back to God. I'm heading to God. He says, okay. Are you on the path that God placed you? If you say yes, he says, okay, go ahead. Next week, we'll go to the next week. But if your answer is no, he says, well, go and find the path God put you on, then come. You have to stop following what man tells you how to find God. Go within and find out how God said to meet with Him, how you will meet with Him. Because He gave you something and He tells you to do that and He will meet you. So then you answer, yes, I am on the path. So go to the next gate. When you reach the next gate, He will ask you, did you live a life of truth throughout the time you stayed on earth here? If your answer is yes, you say, okay, so the second question answer correct, you go. But you reach and you say, well, no, well, with me and do all of this on the street, so you have to go back and change first. You can't come. Then if your answer is yes, you say, okay, go. So you get him to go to the third gate now. And when you reach the third gate, he asks you, did you maintain purity and cleanliness inside and outside? Did you maintain purity and cleanliness in mind, in words, in deeds? And you just say, well, yes. So 3 answer question, you've got to go to the fourth gate. Your answer is no, you have to go back. But remember, the first answer you say, no, I didn't. From there you're going back. Eh? But you answer yes, 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 and you reach yes, so you go to the fourth gate now. He said, did you maintain? Were you a loving, forgiving, sharing type of person? If your answer is yes, because you have to go. If your answer is no, you have to go back. Then you come to the 5th gate now, because you answer 4, yes. And on the 5th gate, when he asks you now, did you live a charitable way of life in servitude to my creation? Charity doesn't come from your pocket, it comes from your heart. To live a charitable way of life is to love one another, to be there for one another. That just as you're saying you love God, you must love the ants, the dog, the cow, the goat, the sheep, the seed, the plant, the flowers, and the fellow travelers. You cannot hate and say you love God. Like the old ladies used to say, you can't mix milk and acid. The Bible says you can't serve God and mammon. You have to understand your journey. Whatever is happening to me, I am 100% responsible for it. And if I want to blame others for what is happening to me that is not good, I will never get out of suffering. That is what is important to note. So he says now, Arjuna, this is a journey, but between the entry, re-entry gate, you have an exit gate only. So you will exit and enter. And you could live and come and go and you still live and enter that gate. But that is not the entering gate that is left to come. So he says you have to be wise and ardent. That exit gate on the other side is an entry gate too. The one that you leave, that you bring and place you have to make your journey, is a re-entry gate too. And that is the gate you have to find. When you start walking, you have to remember how to come back to find that gate to re-enter. And that is dependent upon your thoughts, your words, and your actions as you're going along the journey. If your thoughts, words, and actions were bad, you wouldn't be able to re-enter. You have to go back to the second gate, which is the exit gate to enter back into hell and earth. You're coming back to suffer, to pay your penalty or to pay your cost by penance for your wrongdoings, lack of fulfillment of your words, hurt to others, and all these types of things are recorded during the process. You know, you were doing many services and you were funeral services and you were here, the pastor, the family, the imam, everybody saying the same thing. That when you came here, you brought nothing. That's true. You say you came because your hand was locked, so you didn't come with anything. And when you're going, your hand will go back open, so you're carrying nothing. Is that so? But that's a mistake that you're making. Yes, it's true, when you came, you didn't bring house and land and money and bank book and motor car and all these things. You didn't bring a wife or a mother or a father or son or a daughter or a friend. So you came with your hand locked wide. Because you were here before, because you were here before. And your whole journey from entry into the exiting has been recorded. So now that you are coming back, you're going with your hands empty to receive the book of records of your journey between the time he brought you here to the time you left here, and the pen. So you're bringing it down. That is why you came with your hand up. You had the pen in one hand up and the book in the other hand up, holding tight. And all is recorded. So now you're going back. All these are recorded up there already. So now you're going with your empty hands to get a new pen and a new book, if you have to come back. So he says you have to be cautious and very hospitality. I can tell you in the beginning, he says, parting of sweet sorrows. You enjoy the time, all the beautiful things he did, all the nice things, the stories, the stories you tell, and you laugh and enjoy them. The legacy that he would leave for you is here. And then you know that he's going, you're crying. And you cry for many reasons. But you think you didn't get to spend enough time because of circumstances. You didn't get a chance to give him a drink of water. because of circumstances, particularly these days with COVID separating everybody. Apart from who go and can't come from where they go. You see? So all these things create the sorrows. Who will tell me again the type of enlightenment, the type of wisdom he should share? Will I find someone to tell to me that type of wisdom that he is taught? You're crying for these things. You're crying for all the joy signs you have. And you also cry because I had an opportunity that I can no longer have again. You see? It's gone now, so there's nothing more I can do that I should have done that I did not do. And this is very extraordinary. The wise neither cry, grieve, nor mourn for the living or the dead. Because the wise knows that I have nothing. Nothing belongs to me. I belong to no one, and no one belongs to me. I have an opportunity to be good and to do good in order that I will receive good. And this is all right now. So he says, you have to understand. Understand your journey. Sit in solitude. Sit in solitude. Concentrate, contemplate, and meditate. And the self must speak to the self. The self must ask the self questions. And the self must answer the self questions. So if you are doing it, in the manner in which you should do it, then you will realize why I am happy at times and why I am unhappy at times. So you will blame no one. So long as you intend to keep blaming, pointing your fingers to others, you will never get out of suffering. You will never be able to rise. Prem Se Vrindavan, Harrilal Seenath. So now we are going to perform the ceremony that the boys will do. After the boys complete the ceremony, those who would like to come and offer the Chandan Flower Mala, etc., will also do so. And while we are having this part finished doing, Sriman Pandit Vedyan is here. It's a fortune, it's a blessing to have such many people in these occasions to give words of grace and blessings to the traveling soul and comfort to the various ones. So I'll ask Pandit Vedyan to come and with us. Right, offer your flowers.
बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Jai Sitaram to all you wonderful souls for gathering together today to honor the life of our dear Uncle Harry, as lovingly called. As Panditji has shared his words of wisdom, I would like not to take much of your time, but on behalf of myself and my family, my dear wife Leela here, she's also a member of this family. This is her kaka that is lying here. We would like to extend our deepest condolences to family members and all those who have shown their love and care for their Uncle Hari, and to give strength and energy to our Kaki ji and all members of the family, how their lives can be blessed by Bhagwan, and strength and energy and courage will be practiced through their continuation of their life. Uncle Hari used to be an ardent exponent of Ramayana. So Panditji asked me, before I share those words, I will just do one bhajan. I think in your copy that you have there, you can follow Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare. Let us all join together in one bhajan. जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। और कोई न केवन हारा हो, फिर तू बेड़ा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तू सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। तू चाहे तू सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So my dear brothers and sisters, at this time, as I started, I could not help but remember our dear Uncle Harry, as everyone lovingly called him, and Mamu also. He was an exponent of Ramayana. He was a good Ramayani. They had a group, a Saj, in which all of them get together. These days we don't use the word Saj. Long time we used to use the word Saj. Now we say we have a group. Yeah. So they used to go every place, house to house, and do Ramayana. And he was a good singer of Ramayana. And I cannot help but I remembered maybe about 2 or 3 times I was lucky to hear him sing Ramayana together with the Saj. And since we are here today to offer prayer and dedication to Bhagwan for the acceptance of his Atma unto the Supreme Being's own existence to attain moksha, there was one prayer that they used to sing in Ramayana, and they used to pay so much attention to this. And I was lucky on one occasion to listen that all of them they were singing this Rudrashtakam dedicated to Bhagwan Shankar, and it goes like this, and we pray, all of us in our hearts. I want to ask, he sang this, he appealed to Bhagwan Shri Shankar Bhagwan for mercy and grace and blessings to all while he was alive. At this time, I would like to ask if we can also think that, Lord, may you shower your kripa upon him. With this same prayer from Ramayana. Namami Shamishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Shvarupam Nijam Niregunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chidakashamakasha Vasam Bhajeham Nirakar Monkar Mulam पालं गुनागार संसार पारं नतोऽहम् तुषाराद्रिसङ्काशगौरङ्गभीरं मनोभूतकोटि प्रभाश्री शरीरं स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुगङ्गा लसद्भावलालेन्दुकण्ठे भुजङ्गा चलत्कुण्डलं शुभ्रनेत्रविशालं प्रसन्नाननं नीलकण्ठं दयालं मृगाधीशचरमाम्बरं मुण्डमालं प्रियं शङ्करं सर्वनाथं भजामि प्रचण्डं प्रकृष्टं प्रगल्भं परेशम् अखण्डम् अजं भानुकोटिप्रकाशम् त्रयशूलनिर्मूलनं शूलपाणिं भजेऽहं भवानीपतिभावगम्यम् कलातीतकल्याणकल्पान्तकारी सदा सज्जनानन्ददाता पुरारी चिदानन्द संदोह मोहापहारे प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो मन्मथारि नयावादुमानाथ पादारविन्दं भजन्ति लोके परे वा नराणां न तावत् सुखं शान्ति सन्तापनाशम् प्रसीद प्रभो सर्वभूताधिवास न जानामि योगं जपं नैव पूजं नतोऽहं सदा सर्वदा शम्भुतुभ्यं जरा जन्म दुःखोघतातप्तमानं प्रभो पाहि आपानमामीश शम्भो रौद्राष्टकमिदं प्रोक्तं विप्रेण हरतुष्टये ये पठन्ति नरा भक्त्या तेषां शम्भो प्रसीदति इति श्री गोस्वामी तुलसीदास कृतं श्री रौद्राष्टकं सम्पूर्णम् ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय श्री भगवते श्री सांब सदा शिवाय नमः हरि ओम. So he had shared this prayer for so many when he was alive in this body. Today it is our prayer, O Bhagwan, O He Shambhu, shower your kripa upon him. On behalf of all of us we ask, O Lord, may you give him your kripa. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopish Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Om Anadi Nidhano Deva Shankha Chakra Gadadhara Akshaya Pundari Kaksham Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namo Paramatmane Namah Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai Shankar Bhagwan Ki Jai Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namo Paramatmane Namah. As Panditji continues with his the last rites for members of the family, just a few words I will share. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says here in Bhagavad Gita, as Panditji was explaining, that never there was a time in which I did not exist, O Arjuna. Never a time in the past, and never a time in the future will I cease to exist, and so too you. I offer some shlokas from second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ashochanam vashochastram pragyavadam shabhashase गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परं देहिनस्मिन् यथो देहिनोमिस् मन्यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तर प्राप्तिर धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते मात्र स्पर्शस्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगम पाहिनो नित्यतां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यतयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभा समदुःख सुखं धीरं सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते न सतो विद्यते भावो न भावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस्त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्तैमे देहा नित्ययुक्ता शरीरनः अनासिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युष्यस्व भारत य एनं वेति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भवितवान् भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वेद विनाशिनं नित्यं न एनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थं घातयति हन्तिकं वासंसि चरणानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि नन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं छिन्नन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेद्यन्ति आपो न शोषयति मारुतः अश्रेयोऽयं मदाह्योऽयं अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणु अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् परिहार्यार्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तानि धनेनैव तत्र का परिदेवना अधश्च ॐ आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देहि नित्यमवधोऽध्यं देहि सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याधियुध्य श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते ॐ नमो भगवते श्री कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ अनादिनिधनो देव शंखचक्र गदाधर अक्षय पुंडरीकाक्षं हरिलाल प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव हरिलाल प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव हरिलाल प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव. We can join together in one short kirtan. Om Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Paramatmane Namaha. Alright, so as Panditji has asked to continue a little bit more. My dear brothers and sisters, today we see lying in front of us this last remnants of the body of our dear Mamu. And it helps us to think a little bit today when we are threatened in some way, that we know that this body will not be here for us to enjoy any happiness or to have any experience with this body again. It brings sadness to us. But Bhagavan Shri Krishna says in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. He says, an eternal part of my own self I have given in all living beings. What makes us alive, what makes us what we are, what makes us conscious, it is the part of that Supreme Being. Bhagavan is saying, Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. In all living beings, a part of my own self I have given. He is reminding us, as Tulsidas reminds us in Ramayana, that we are part of Ishwara. Ishwara Ansa. Ishwara Ansa. Tulsidas says, Ishwara Ansa Jiva Avinashi Chetana Amala Sahaja Sukharasi. Ishwara Ansa Jiva Avinashi Chetana Amala Sahaja Sukharasi. He's saying to us, as Bhagavan Shri Krishna is also saying, who we are. I am part of Ishwara, Ishwara Ansa. That which dwells in this body, which is part of Supreme Being, is called a Jiva. When it is present in body, it is called Jiva. And what is the quality of this? This quality of the part of Supreme Being is Avinashi. Ishwara Ansa Jiva Avinashi. Avinashi means it cannot be destroyed. There is no way it can be destroyed. Chetan Amal Sahaj Sukharasi. Chetan means it is, the quality is of consciousness. That is what makes the difference between this body that is lying here and the bodies that we are experiencing in now. What is the difference? Chetan. Chetan means consciousness. That body is not conscious anymore. In this body we have consciousness. Chetan, Amal. Amal means the quality of that part of Supreme Being is pure. You see, we have to bathe this body. We will have to bathe this body to make it clean. After every session of whatever we do, we have to clean this body, bathe this body to be clean. But that which dwells in this body, it is amal. Amal means it is pure. You can't bathe that body to clean it. Because it is part of the ocean of purity. It is part of Supreme Being. Chetan Amal, Sahaj Sukha Rasi. Sahaj Sukha means happiness. The opposite of dukkha. You know, we are singing the bhajan, Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukkhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Dukkha means unhappiness, and we are praying to Bhagavan, take away all my dukkha, my unhappiness. Well, the opposite of that is sukha. So, Chetan Amal Sahaj Sukha Rasi. This here is Sukha Rasi. We are part of Sukha Rasi. Sukha means happiness, but today we are sad. Why we are sad today and we are saying that, but I am supposed to be happy? Sukha. Chetan Amal Sahaj Sukha Rasi. What is Sahaj Sukha Rasi means? That happiness is something that is from our inner being. Getting happiness from our inner being, our true state of what we are, part of Supreme Being. If He is ocean of happiness, am I also not supposed to be happy? But happiness must come from inside. Today, if we are sad about this situation, it is because happiness we are looking from outside. So, if we are expecting that our Mamuji, if he is alive, we will be happy. If he is not alive, then we are sad. Why? Because we are looking for happiness from outside. So our happiness and sadness is coming from outside. So we are dependent now that if I am to be happy, someone must say something good about me. Someone else must feel good about me. Someone else must compliment me. I am looking for something always from outside to be happy. I will get a new car, then I will be happy. If I have a new house, then I will be happy. So everything from outside that gives happiness, one day will give pain, one day will give grief. That is the law of this nature. Bhagavan says, Chetan Amal Sahaj Sukha Rasi. Happiness must be in our own hands. Happiness must not be seek from outside. Happiness must be Sahaj Sukha Rasi. Sahaj means from inside it must be. My happiness must not be dependent on anything from external. Any external happiness that we are dependent on, one day is going to give us pain and sadness. So I would like to say on behalf of myself and all of you who don't have a chance to say something, I am saying that on your behalf we offer prayer for the Atma of our dear Mamuji. Harrilal Seenath. Oh yes, Rachel J. She will now share some events from his life and to give a wonderful account of his, while he was here in the body, how he shared love.
Sitaram, everybody. I'll try not to be too long. Just give a little bit about Papa. So, my grandfather came from humble beginnings. He always stressed that he was a simple man. He was the 5th child out of 10 children, and well, now he's the last to leave. Up to Sunday, he was talking about how hard he worked in his life. From working in the cane fields in Masilan to the cocoa fields in Iparo alongside his siblings. Aside from being a laborer in the fields, he also worked in the forestry division and did ground maintenance in Petrotrin and worked some taxi on the side. But it would also be remiss of me not to mention his ultimate profession of cracking and massaging. He was well known for his ability to ease someone's discomfort by pulling this or fixing that. And bet your bottom dollar, as soon as he was done with that person, he would make them stand up and ask them, how you feeling now? Feeling good? You're good? Right. This was probably his most loved profession, as it brought with it conversations with random persons that developed into relationships fostered over the years. Remind wasn't a profession of his, but it was a huge part of his life. Therein lies so many stories, too much to tell, of course, but let me tell you. Up till Sunday, he was fondly remembering the time when he used to sing Chautal and Jal Ramayan. He said Manan, his brother-in-law up the hill, used to sit on one side leading a group, and he would sit opposite the hill leading another group. And he said together they had them going, man. Eventually, the younger generations joined in, and they too toured the country alongside Papa and Pandit Gyan. Papa read the Ramayana with his powerful signature voice, and Pandit Gyan delivered the explanation. And Papa would sing his signature bhajan, Hariyo Ramilan. This group was really serious about Ramayana, so serious that they held practice sessions in the hallway of the old house, not this one. God knows how we all fit in there, but we did. And even though it was a practice session, the kids also had to practice being quiet while it was going on. Otherwise, it was level both. The woman that brought children into his life was Mama. When you say Papa, you say Mama. Their names just went together. Their life wasn't easy, but they stuck by each other for 65 years. Something so uncommon in today's world. You would hear them quarreling, but you would also see them sitting on the couch watching TV and conversing in the porch, him in his usual spot and she on a chair not too far, or downstairs with him in the hammock and she on a chair not too far, and if she wasn't close by, you would hear him call, Koroi! They were never too far away from each other. That commitment sired 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. Even though Papa was strict with his own children, that changed when he got grandchildren. Don't get me wrong, we were still scared of him when we were younger. As soon as we saw that Austin break the corner up the hill, all mess under the house was cleared and every man jack scattered until he was upstairs, and then we were left to resume play. When the great-grandchildren came, he was a complete softie. He lived for seeing them, playing with them, talking with them, just plain having them in his house. Hearing the rockers was enough to make him happy. Before he asked for anyone, he asked for his great-grandchildren, and each of them are blessed to have a special relationship with him and memories to last for their lifetime. We are fortunate to have known this soul for such a long time. I want to reassure you today, he had no regrets. He lived a full life, and he was ready to leave this earth and move on to the next chapter. So we're just here today to celebrate his life and send good wishes to our grandfather as he makes his next journey in life. Thank you. So I guess while the pundit went upstairs, if you want to come and take a little view, because we'll have to leave just now. Oh, okay,
Sitaram, on behalf of my family and my wife, I extend my deepest condolences to the family. Also, on behalf of our group in New York, the Shiv Bhakti Satsang, led by Gildari Singh and Dali, I want to extend on behalf of our group in New York our deepest condolences. I will just leave you with this bhajan. I hope you will appreciate it, and I know you will appreciate it. मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, युग चरण में ले लो राम, अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। जीवन देखी चाल बिछाया रच की माया नाच नचाया। जीवन देखी चाल बिछाया रच की माया नाच नचाया। चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी, चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी, युग चरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। तुमने लाखों पापी तारी, मेरी लागी मेरी बागी बागी हारी। मेरे पास न पुण्य के पूजी, मेरे पास न पुण्य के पूजी, मुझ मरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, युग चरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। राम हे राम, या हे राम। कर गरत को डर डरबत को, कहाँ कहाँ पुनास नबत को। इस जीवन में मिलो न तुम तो राम, हे राम। इस जीवन में मिलो न तुम तो, मुझे मरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। हे राम, everybody, हे राम, 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 हे राम।
अच्छा, हमारे बात की है। The devotees, you have heard enough is left for you. If you want to take what you get and go and examine yourself to see if you are going the path God takes you there to travel. At this point in time, we are all to close, but of course I will have Taran Ramhik. Taran Ramhik around? You must be wrong there.
You can't find him. You can't find him.
We have a pattern by Taran Ramhik first. Then we will close.
Achasana, devotees, it's a pleasure, not really an honor so much to be here in this situation. Baba and I shared our great memories together, and the most I can do is to render pleasure. So if you could just bear with me, not too much of a song style, I'll try. कोई रोए कोई गाए कैसा तेरा संसार ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार ओ कोई समझ नहीं पाए तेरा कारोबार ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार, उजड़ जाए जब रहन बसेरा, पंछी सिर ढूंढ रोए, कोई न जाने दर्द किसी का, कब मतलब में कोई। अंबर नील महारे, धरती पर एक तार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार। कोई रोए कोई गाए, कैसा तेरा संसार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार। दिन के संग तूने रात बनाए, फूलों के संग खाते, जाने कहाँ किस जगह बैठ कर तू ये सुख दुख भाते। पतझड़ जहाँ मुस्काए, रोए वही बहार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार। कोई रोए कोई गाए, कैसा तेरा संसार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार। कोई समझ नहीं पाए तेरा कारोबार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार।
भगवान की
Sitaram everybody. On behalf of my own family and I represent other families around here, I want to extend my condolences to this noble family from which I am proud to belong, and to wish you all peace and blessing. I pray that we will continue to stay as a family and support this wonderful lady who has been married to this wonderful gentleman for so long. May God bless us all. Please remember to stay safe and stay close. Today is hard, from tomorrow is going to be harder. Please continue to join and support this family. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, devotees, as we are going to make preparation to journey to the place of shop, mosquito-free flowering, I ask all to stand again for a moment. And as we finish the closing prayer, you are still standing. You will come in an orderly manner, view here and head to your vehicles if you are going, or else walk and take a seat. Because as soon as the prayer finishes, the viewing finishes, we are going. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Om Tvamatsaram Param Vihritayam Tvamasya Vishvasya Param Nidham Tvamabhyayah Sahasrata Dharma Gopraham Sanatanahasyam Purusho Matomi Anadimadhyam Anantaviryam Anantabahu Sasisuryanitram Pasyamikam Diptahutasavakram Svatejasa Vishwamidantapantam Krishna Krishna Kripalu Tvam Gatinam Gati Pradham Sansara Magnanam सिद्ध परमेश्वरः ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्यां द्रविणं त्वमेव ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ धौ शान्ति आन्तरिकं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिः औषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिः विश्वजीव शान्तिः ब्रह्म शान्तिः आत्मा शान्तिः पितृः शान्तिः सर्वगं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्तिर्सामा शान्तिरेव शान्तिः 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 प्रेम से बोलो कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय सत सनातन धर्म की जय सकल पंच की जय जय सीताराम। Right, so as I said, this row can come forward to view and go, and you keep coming like that and head into transport.
Journey away in different directions, but this cruel world can never understand their dreams. Today, they are reflecting on their happy
सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी बिछड़े जा रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा
Yeah, right. Yo.
Alfred doing from me, swimming for all the time. Go on here. Yeah, where the baby water. Uncle Kevin.
Subhash, come here. Make up the tree.
Under.
You pause certain photos on this too?
Video alone.
Video alone, no pause for
Live streaming.
Okay. I gotta get a pause set on the live stream.
Why did they set two streams for the film? One for film and one for some of them they didn't want.
This is Mama and Mom. And she's going to be bowling. Spread out. Like a bus. Spread out. That's free.
Follow him out. Get all? Right, the other one, follow him out inside. You can have a piece here too. There's a piece on this under.
Come on, can you give you first? The sticker. That's it. That's right. What's in there? On that side? Pull up your sleeve.
Pull up on it.
Only your man on it. In the right hand, put it on the top of your chest, right? Everything comes on. To the center point. As you like, pinch this one to the light, right?
No, not yet.
Leaving it clothes on the ground?
Now that we have reached the final point, we can do. Handing over to you now. When we invite you and we consume the remains of the body, we will please return to the fire and accept the real body, allow the elements to return to their original sources so that the soul will return and commence before we enter the Brahma Shanti Asamaha Shanti Puti Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Sarva Shanti 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 Bhavatu Jai. Bhagwan ki Jai. So now you leave the court and let's go to the box. You will function. Rama Rama Om Rama Rama
Hello, good day. Right. 225, but what's up there in the next half an hour, right? Yeah, that's okay, that's okay.
That's ready.
Normal, normal. East, west, north.
West?
Yes, it's okay.
All right.
Hello, young lady. Listen, everything good? All right.
He gone? No, he can't go. He pack up there. He gotta wait till later. So we gotta go and find him and find him.
Yeah, I don't want to shine it.
That's it.
Because it's clean.
Thank you.